After all this time, that opening hello still it's still awkward. Um, anyway, it's out of the way now, so um, I've been planning to do this video for a couple of days. I've had some really bad news. What else is new in my personal sphere? It's like very personal to me. It's my physical health. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but I'm kind of going to the ER shortly after I record this video, the one closest to me, to determine, hopefully, if it's worse. All I know is I'm in a lot of pain, physical pain in areas internally that I've been in before, and I knew the reasons. And I went to the ER a few days ago, and I was kind of given the treatment I'd gotten before, which was basically to keep me functional so that I could work shifts at my new job. So I was able to do that a couple of shifts. And tonight, I was supposed to work a very short shift, just learning the lay of the land of closing the store at night. I haven't worked till close yet in capacity in that store yet. I could not do it. I woke up several hours before I had to be there. It was a late shift. I mean, I'd be still at work right now if I were working. And I had rested fairly well. I had taken a lot of medicine yesterday just to get comfortable after I got off work. And as soon as I got up and I began bathing, every step was painful. See how I breathe there? Like, inhale. See, right now I can do that. But when I'm like I was earlier, I breathe and that pain hits me. It's like I can't draw a full breath without a dagger-like pain. So, sorry to be a bummer to y'all. I do have some good news coming up, but this is where I'm at now, and I'm already kind of on the edge with all my finances and living situation. And there's only so much someone can take, I guess, right? There's one thing being bedeviled by mental demons, as I often was when I began this channel. But through time and therapy and medication and facing some hard truths, I was able to turn that corner, though it still haunts me, as I mentioned, from time to time. But I've gained a perspective on it. I've even been able to channel it into my art, into my writing. One of my current Flickr Street arcs, sub-arcs I call it, Annexia, is a processing of this long haul of grief that I've carried over a certain person and events that came from knowing that person and losing that person. And there's subsequent activities against me, but that's out of my sphere now. And see how easily it comes up. It's not just beneath the surface, but it's there. But I can fight those things. I can compartmentalize them. And I'm on enough medication and getting enough support system to where I can handle that. And things like working in the public, though I used to eschew it, I ended up doing it a long time and I'm good at it. So that really helps me stay in a healthy frame of mind, because otherwise I'm not a social beast at all. This is my reality. My cat is my companion, and that's fine. He understands me and I understand him. And I know that sounds probably silly and I'm utilizing personification, but I've been studying cats really intensely since he became my last, surviving one. And I do think he understands me and vice versa. At least in the most primal, rudimentary, most important levels. Life or death, love and hate, connection, survival, that kind of thing. If only humans could peel away all of our artifice and all of this, and connect with each other so well, so deeply, and so knowingly, and not needing so many words and not needing lies. Uh, what a world it would be. So um, that's a utopia that will never be. And as far as I'm concerned now with my life, uh, I'm kind of right on the to be realistic. You know, as you know, I study politics really closely and all the waves and things that are occurring in our world the last several years and where it is heading or could be heading. Uh, and you know, one phrase I hear bandied about a lot in circles that are inveighing for positive change socio-politically is, you know, most Americans are one paycheck away from losing everything, one doctor's visit away from bankruptcy. So I'm finally on that rung. I'm not quite on that bottom rung, but um, depending on how things go today and the next few days with my health, I I don't know. Very good chance I will end up on that bottom rung, one step away from total disaster. So I've been trying to reach out, and there have been some wonderful people who've helped me and had faith in me and helped me pay my bills while I resorted my job situation, while I got enough energy to get over my hand and arm situation, which I still have, but manageable enough to work and to write again, and even occasionally draw, but mainly to work, and then enough to take this new job. The red tape was so thick between my former employer and my current employer. You know, it took me weeks to begin my new job. So there was up to 3 weeks where I had no income whatsoever from any source except a very small amount from eBay. Um, I still owe a large property tax. I have some money put aside for it, but it's money that, you know, I have my tax return came through, but now I've had to slowly begin living off my tax return, waiting for my first paycheck from my new job, which I got yesterday. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be. But, you know, right out of the gate now, I have to pay a phone bill and tend to a few bills, mainly getting around town. I don't drive, getting around town and getting to these ER places and maybe more prescriptions and whatever. I'll go back to work Tuesday, and I'm determined, even if I have to walk with a cane, I'll be at work Tuesday. I might be in a lot of pain. I'm not seeing my primary care until August 1st. This is how things are out of control. Everything's pushed back further than they've ever been before, further than during the height of COVID. Uh, my nurse practitioner prescribes my psychoactive medications. I've had to cancel my last 2 appointments with her and get her to fill it, to phone in my refills. One I had Friday, and I could not get to her office and then get to work the same day. I was not able to do that. So, they wouldn't book me a last minute virtual, even though we've been doing virtual for a year and a half. I think I've seen her in the office once in 2 years. Mind you, this woman's been my main doctor uh, for resolving these issues, other than therapists, for 10 years. So it's not really on her, but I feel like she can let me down too. I don't think she is, but you know, it's that trust issue. You've been abandoned. You know, you've been lied to. The system is breaking apart. What next? What the fuck next? So anyway, I'm going to go to the ER and try to sit in the most comfortable position I can find. Right now, I'm in the rolly chair I mentioned the other day that is now my prime chair here in this part of the office of the Flicker Street studio. This one I bought for my ex-fiance, and she built it herself very quickly and well. I offered to help her several times, and she said, "No, honey, it's okay. I got it." And there you go. See, I could shed a tear just on that. So maybe I'm not as healed as I thought, but I am healed enough to say this. Myself, I am my number one priority, not her, not the energy from the past. And I'm still creating every day. I'm really happy with the way this channel's starting to open up. My Flicker Street work is getting better and better to me, what I can discern. and I'm finally putting it out into the world for others to see and sample. But the best is yet to come. I mean, I'm really just offloading stuff from the past, so it'll be on one in one definitive website. I have several posts I've begun. They're basically just drafts incorporating art and biographies of characters from stuff that's already on my Facebook pages. This week I've been working on that and editing them and adding new material. I was hoping to post some tonight, but I won't be at my laptop most of the night. I may be at the emergency room all night. The other night I got there at 9 p.m. I left there at 8 a.m. So yeah, I didn't get seen officially in the triage till 7 a.m. So I had like maybe 6:30. I had like an hour of actual looking, and they did no X-rays, no ultrasound, and I could barely stand up. I was in so much pain. So I decided if it stayed this bad or got worse or seriously impugned on me being able to work, which I was fighting, I would go back. I wouldn't go back right away. I would try to wait a few days to get through this small cycle of steroid and anti-inflammatory muscle relaxant therapy. Tomorrow's my last day on either of them. I have like, one pill left of each. So I'll be taking them in the morning, and I'll probably be there when I'm taking them. So I have some empty bottles. And I'm going to be like, what next, man? You can't just keep refilling this. I've been through all this before. I know what needs to happen. What really needs to happen will not happen. It cannot happen because our healthcare system is garbage. If anyone tells you otherwise or lies to you, America has a good healthcare system for anyone but the 1%. I would suggest just telling them to fuck themselves and wake the fuck up. And I'm sorry, Obamacare is a scam. If you get your insurance from the government retire as a retiree, okay, at least you have something. It's not good. But then wait till I'm your age. I'm talking about people who are older. I have some friends older than me who are retired. When I'm your age, if I make it that long, there may not be anything left. We've been saying that for decades, that my generation. And it's pretty close to happening. And now we have a president who's been threatening to eliminate Social Security and Medicare. But no one listens when he says it. They only listen when he says, oops, I fell off a bike, or oops, I sent 40 billion to the Ukraine. This is the world we're in, man. And it's not a good one. But I just wanted to talk about my little corner of it. I really had originally intended this to be a happy video. Maybe I'll make a happy video. But I will end this by saying some happy things. So saving the best for last so I don't run over long, because I have to get to this place and start this procedure. Thank you for the people who've supported my channel. Some of my videos have almost inexplicably blown up with large amounts of views. I know it's not necessarily due to me or my content. Well, my content is in what I'm covering. Maybe it's timely in some circles. Maybe it's underrepresented on YouTube. I'll give you an example. My black test car video, almost no one covered that era release of Black Test Car and Black Report. One guy did a video that was pretty good, and it's had a few hundred views, and then Arrow put out their official trailer for each of the films. YouTube itself is selling it for rent to watch in their YouTube movies. And that was it. So my video has over 5,000 views. I don't know how many likes. I never get a whole lot of likes, maybe 6 or 7, which is a lot for me. But yeah, I have about 5,000 views and growing daily. So I guess I'm, person most being researched or looked at just to get thoughts on that movie or whatever, and maybe they're not agreed with or appreciated or liked or needed, but I'm glad that they're being paid attention to, and that's helping me in the algorithms tremendously. If half as many people liked a video as viewed it, or even a third, I'd be busting in the algorithms. We all would. This is just the way of things. You see a video that's got 1 million views and it's got 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes is incredible, but compared to 1 million views, that's rough. Maybe I'll scale it down. How about 1,000? Well, mine 5,000 views and 5 likes. See, it's rough. But anyway, I've got some plans for videos. Obviously, I've got weeks and weeks of plans, and then I keep changing things around depending on what mood I'm in, what new thing I encounter. I want to thank everybody for liking my last few, especially the libido video. I know Ernesto Gastaldi, not well or anything, but he is a corresponding member in my Facebook film group, Deep Images. And I posted there that I was posting about him, and he posted a picture of Mera and Giancarlo from 1965. And, that was a, what's the word? A turning point in young Ernesto's life and career. And it's so nice to see him being able to share that resonance with people all these years later, and that they care. People who weren't even born then. I wasn't even born then, and I'm old. And yeah, so things like that fill me with little rewards. They are little rewards, small rewards. So I want to thank real quick my patrons, 2 sets of patrons. One set is the obvious one, the people who have patronized my channel by providing me with content. I want to thank Tim Tolbert, who's gone over and above Call of Duty into collaborator status. I'd like to thank Shelley Druckery. I'd like to thank Drew Dahmer. I would like to thank the mysterious Terry Mulford. And I would like to thank Dwayne Cochran, because he has made it possible for me to see quite a lot of material on Plex and been my Plex guru for the last few years. And I have reviewed quite a lot of things that he's managed to allow me to see. So I've been remiss in not adding him to my permanent channel patron list. If you want to become one, all that information's down there. I'm not going to hard sell you right now. If you can donate anything to me at all, though, I would really appreciate it, because times are about to stay tight, if not get tighter for me. On a different level, the people who have donated to my various fundraisers to survive via PayPal or my GoFundMe or my Facebook fundraiser, which ran out and Facebook would not allow me to renew it. Good old Facebook. I'd like some people in particular I'd like to thank. I'm going to forget about 24 people. Not forget, but just, But I wanted to thank especially some people who I have thanked on this channel and some I haven't, who went over and above and contributed a lot of money to allow me to keep going at some very key times, so that I could get over this hump from job to job, from health crisis to health crisis, and life change to life change, so I could try to get in a position to hold on to my home, which is still kind of dangling. But that's not the fault of these people who tried, and without them, I'd be nowhere. I'd be gone. So I want to thank Win Scott Eckert. He's been a dear friend for years. He went over and above. I wanted to thank the wonderful Jennifer Bush Craft. She's a kind woman, and I was a fan of her late husband's. Rest in peace. I want to thank Mary Screens, a very wonderful writer and creator, who was also a collaborator with my favorite comic book writer. Rest in peace to him as well. These 3 people in particular helped me out a great deal. I'd like to thank Don Miller, who doesn't even live in America anymore, but found me online. Don Miller was a young man I was in a band with. We had a band called Epitaph for Oneida. Talk about pretentious, when we were like 20 years old. And then it was my first band, and Don put the band together, and then it morphed into a band, Epiphany, which I held on to for about another year before I took the bass player and we joined Chiaroscuro. And I've spoken a bit about Chiaroscuro on this channel before. Chiaroscuro's one of maybe his definitive bass player. Reggie Dennis, a dear lifelong friend of mine, passed away a few months ago, and I did do a little segment on that. It's still kind of boggling my mind that he's no longer with us. But yeah, Don Miller stepped in. Um, there have been people who didn't have that much money and who really tried to help me out. Sean Michael Vogt, a longtime friend, I'd like to thank him a lot. Um, I'm forgetting like tons and tons of people, but I know there are people who have given to me multiple times. People like Lindsay Barlow, people like Wendy McInnes, um, I believe Mark Webb, Chris Bubax has been a huge supporter and friend of mine. We met in person in 2017 and didn't hang out for nearly long enough. And I'm never going to pronounce his last name correctly, even though I asked him in person, but it's Chris Bubax, I think. Anyway, another guy who's a treasure trove of information on the arts, movies, film, comics, you name it. That guy, he's got it. He's a wonderful man, constant supporter. I love all of you guys, and man, I'm going to get choked up here because I really do love all you guys. And then, of course, the moral supporters, some of who've had, one who has helped me out with a financial patronage, generous one, but also uh, been one of my friends and confidants is Mick Cantone, who's sending me his new album that I will be reviewing on this channel in the very near future. Mick has been a dear friend. Amy Green has been a dear friend. That's how I met Mick Cantone. It was through Amy Green, another film arts wunderkind of knowledge. Nicola Nazarino has been a daily comforting presence in my life for over 2 years now. She is my dear sister who lives in the Philippines. Um, I'm going to forget a lot of people and feel really bad and rotten. But that's about it for now. But I want to thank all of you guys that I mentioned for helping the channel survive, helping me survive financially in this operation, and helping me survive mentally, emotionally, and temporally. So thank you, and thank you.